was driving his car, and I was in a car as a passenger to Frank Fiorella, who I was introduced by my girlfriend, Nancy Favada, try to match me up with her cousin, Frank Fiorella. She did real well because I did get in his car. And Frank was very close with George, very close friend. Frank introduced me. He says, "This is George. You wanna be with George? You wanna go with George?" I didn't know what to say. So I says, "Well, I'd like to meet George." So next thing I know, I was getting out of Frank's car and into George's car. Well, George was always so cute, so handsome. And Frank was big and funny looking. But Frank had a real outgoing personality, fun-loving and laugh and kidding. And I was just with Frank in his car maybe 3 times. And he always was trying to touch me all over, and I didn't like it. I was just a young girl, and it was my first boyfriend, the first time in a car with a boy, and I was uncomfortable. I was starting to get angry with him. And Frank didn't like it either. He thought I was going to be easy, and I wasn't. He says to me, this is my friend George. You like him? You want to go with him? He was, go with George. So I got out of the car and went with George.
Oh.
And that was forever and ever. George was always a gentleman, very kind and loving and sweet, and wanted to take me to the movies and just to be with me. It was nice. It was nice that I could trust George.
What were your first dates like with Dad?
He came to the house and he met Mom, Pauline, and Buster. Buster liked him right away. He says he's quite the gentleman, Penny. You know, we drove to the theater, downtown movie.
Remember your first kiss?
I was wondering when he was going to kiss me. I was wishing for a kiss. And we had gone maybe 3 times. And then he did it. We were at the screen door. There's a storm door on the projects where I lived, and a screen door. So, you know, that's when it happened, at the screen door. I says, "Oh, goody, I got a kiss." And then there were lots of kisses after that. Once he learned how to do it.
When did you know your relationship with George was serious?
After a couple dates with George, I just felt in love. I felt in love with him. We went for a ride to Ellicott Creek Park, and we were gonna go on the canoe. Instead, we put down the blanket and we just talked and we hugged, and I just felt in love. A proposal, really. We just wanted to get married. Yeah, he said, "We'll get married. Let's get married." Probably was in his Chevy truck. I said, "Oh no, George, that has to wait till we get married." He says, "Let's get married then." I says, "Oh, we're a little young. We're very young to get married." He's going to look in the library where we could get married. And he did. And then he said to me, after he looked in the library, the choices for 17 and 18-year-old, he said, "We have to go cross country to Vegas." Vegas, it was like another country. I didn't tell my mother, and he didn't tell his mother. And he just, from the truck one evening, we went to his father's car, and he parked a little distance from his house, and he walked to his house, and it was night, and he went in the window. His window to his bedroom was open, so he climbed in his bedroom window, and he got a few things for himself. I didn't have that opportunity. Just what I had on. Yeah, I had no change of clothes. I wasn't going to go in mother's. I couldn't get in my bedroom window. In the projects, the bedrooms were upstairs. So we just went and we traveled. We were out of Buffalo, and he knew this gas station, so he could fill up with gas with his father's car, and he could get a map. That morning, he says, I could get my paycheck. And so in the morning, he left me in his father's car, and he walked over to Rosie's house, and he rang her doorbell, and it was early, but he waited till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then he got his paycheck. It was like $95. So he found a gas station and they cashed it. He recognized Pinto on the check. Something was familiar to the owner of the gas station, and we got lucky. Just lucky.
You said you went the next morning. Where were you all night?
I was in the back seat under a blanket, and he was at the driver's. He was comfortable in the front. We were in a lot. The cop did find us in that lot, and he asked George. George says, well, we wanted to get a couple hours sleep before we go to the farm. We're picking beans.
Did the police see you too?
He did. He looked, because I had the blanket like and I was so young. I looked like a child because I didn't have my whole body showing. He says, it's my cousin. We're both going to pick beans. And the cop believed him. He took me to a fine and dime store to get a dress, and I always liked green, and I got this green dress, and I went to a rack, and I says, I like this one. He says, okay, so he bought the dress, whatever it cost, it was $20. We drove, and there's a lot of houses with get married, and it had signs on the outside. First we had to go to City Hall, and he got to get proof of his age, but he wasn't the right age, so he had proof, different little things for driving. That's what the boys did back then, and it looked real official with a stamp on it. So he used one of those cards to say that he was old enough. I think he had to be 21, and he had a certificate in his wallet for 21. He also, on this trip, before we left, I told you he climbed in the window. He got the army suit. He had a Navy or an Army suit, the pants and the jacket. We were only in the car. We did all this dressing in the car or gas station. And then we went looking. You ring the bell where we went, ring the bell, and the lady, she, how could I help you? We want to get married. Oh, come in. And that's what I remember. We went in. It was her house, and she called down her husband. So I was there with my pretty dress. And then they ask you, oh, what would you like to buy? We have the option. You could buy this. They show pictures of the corsages. You could have a picture. You could have a video. Boy, am I sorry we didn't pay for the video. All we paid for was the paper, the certificate. His father only wired us, that $120. He was on the phone with his dad, and his father had to wire him the money.
How long were you gone?
1 week, because it's 3 days to get there, 3 days to get home. But he probably got home in less than 3 days because, we just drove and drove.
You never told your mother. Did you ever call her?
I thought about it. I was scared. I didn't call. I don't want to call. So he says, well, you better do something. So he stopped and got a pencil and a pad. He told me what to say. Dear mother, I'm with George. I'm safe. No worries. We're getting married, and we're not sure we're coming home ever. And then we mailed it, and she got it. He decided everything. He says, I had work at home. We're going home. Man, a few words. He called his mother, and he said, we're coming home. we're married, we're going to be with you and Dad. So she cleared out one bedroom. It was Rosalie's bedroom. There was only 3 bedrooms in Grandma Pinto's house. So the mother and father had the first bedroom. The middle bedroom was Rosalie with the double bed. And the bedroom off the kitchen had 3 beds. So we had the middle bedroom with the double dresser and the double bed. It was beautiful. Finally, I had to walk home and see Mother. I had to. My mother suffered. You know, I was the firstborn. I was always by her side. She was the one I was clinging to all my life. And then I met George, and that's all was important to me was George. I still feel that way about George. I do.